direction! Every pony, I'm MasterCode, your ace analyst, and today we're taking a look at issue number 90 of the main IDW series, or Season 10, Episode 2. At the end of the last comic, we landed at Zecora's home on the Farasain shores, with our first team of friendship ambassadors led by AJ, who are tasked with bringing the magic of friendship to this land. We start off in the past with a much younger Zecora and her budding interest in magic, and it's here we actually learn the origin of the Shaman zebra's rhyming speech. Originally, many have speculated and attributed her unique dialogue delivery due to her native tongue or simply just for fun, but actually it's because in a research of magic, spells work better in rhyme. Now that's hardcore. To dedicate your life to rhyming is quite the venture, though that does make her stand out more, taking on such a unique and eccentric style of talking rather than it being just all zebras rhyme. Anyway, while in the past we learned Zecora was a loner with little to no friends and mostly spends her life to studying every facet of magic, and it's here we start to see an interesting dichotomy between her and Twilight. As a young filly, Twilight had dedicated her life to studying magic and various aspects of equestrian history, and continued that trend throughout her adulthood, until she learned the magic of friendship. While she had some friends in those days, studying was her main focus, and she had a falling out with said friends. Similarly, Zecora dedicated her life to studying magic, made some friends, and her obsession led to a fallout with her friends as well. The difference between the two being while Twilight studied magic to excel in school, and just for general sake of knowledge, Zecora's goals were to prove that zebras can perform spells without the natural magical abilities possessed by other races such as unicorns, making her prospects more noble and interesting. And it is easy to see how Twilight and the Shaman became such good friends, now seeing how similar their lifestyles were. The school setting in the past also helps us learn a little more about the native races and their abilities, like learning about the Kelpie's water manipulation powers and being able to transform from ice to steam, or the double-horned Abata possessing unique powers like super speed or talking to plants. Well, it's not the worst power one could have.
Mine is hard. I can sense you all.
Anyway, all the lore we're learning from the teacher is interesting, even if she does come off as kind of a bitch. Talking about how all these other races are so awesome, but zebras are mundane and boring creatures of burden in comparison. What an asshole. Hello kids, thank you for welcoming me to Career Day. I'm a super handsome stallion with my own courtroom and my spaceship that has endured many unique and exciting space adventures as an analyst and lawyer. Wow, can I be that successful? Oh, sorry, you're an Earth pony, and thus you have no real special abilities. But Earth ponies have magic of Earth! Like I said, no real special abilities. Basically what I'm saying, children, is most of you will go on to live bleak, meaningless lives and never really become anything special. So, any questions? Another interesting aspect we learned about the Farasain Coast is that apparently Zecora's homeland is so far isolated from the rest of the world that any knowledge of Equestria is very limited, to the point where magical unicorns or even earth ponies are thought of just to be mythical beings. On top of that, stories about the Pillars of Equestria and all the other ponies who saved or raised Equestria are also merely stories or legends. And it's all this lack of knowledge that actually makes me want to learn more about this society and how it's so unique from the rest of the world. Like, what are their beliefs on the solar systems? Do they believe the sun and the moon raise on their own? Do they even know of Luna and Celestia? Although, it does make me wonder if such scripture exists about equestrians. Who wrote all these books and made all these discoveries if only quote-unquote legends are known about Equestria? Either way, it's still a fascinating plot point that allows for a lot of speculation. As far as the interactions with Zecora and her friends are during this flashback, I think it's well done. Showing some cute exchanges with each other, playing games, and just having fun with each other, it's adorable. Though it would have been nicer to show just a little more of their friendship growing, although it still works well enough, showing friendship amongst a group of diverse and eccentric races. I especially love this whole framing device used, showing the breakup between the zebra shaman and her friends. Each recall the same events of their friendship's humble beginnings to their group fighting. Zecora accuses them of teasing her for her beliefs, while Marini brings up that she refused to hang out with them and Zecora became hostile and left. Both sides aren't inherently wrong, as both are making good points. Yeah, they did mock Zecora for saying it's foolish to waste your life on something that's never been, but Zecora did turn her back on her friends, and admittedly, constantly rhyming around some pony and constantly talking obsessively on a subject matter can be a little grating on others. Regardless, the argument feels organic, the emotions feel real, and I love how both Marini and Zecora are completely ambivalent about forgiving each other immediately, as both were legit hurt back then, and those feelings still linger. It makes the conflict about this whole trip much more interesting with how both sides continue to butt heads throughout this comic, leaving the audience legit interested in how they'll reconcile. Most of the story is focused around Zecora and the conflict with her friends, while the rest of AJ's team is mostly in the background, but the Epimere does play an important role, that being consoling Zecora and convincing her to give Marini and her old friends a second chance. AJ's always been good at resolving arguments between friends and siblings, like in Sisterhood of Social, and once again demonstrates her wise nature. Though I gotta say, Tempest is simply awesome in this story. She's getting recon on the defenses and weaknesses of this area and its inhabitants, keeping the idea of one day possibly overthrowing the country, and it's just hilarious. But things get real when a giant Grootsland attacks.
Usul has called a big one. Again, it is the legend.
I am Groot!
Zecora wards off the giant snake creature worm, temporarily dazzling her friends with her quick thinking and pretty cool fire alchemy. Don't mess with this, Zebra, she'll cook your hide. We end this comic meeting Prince Abraxas chasing off the Grootsland back to the desert. And while we don't learn too much, he is a firm, kind, and kind of eccentric individual, with him rejoicing over the Zebra Shaman's return. And in the next issue, every pony will be trekking out to the desert to locate and stop the creature from attacking the village once and for all. Overall, I'm digging this story arc. I love the amount of lore we're learning about this new land. I love the conflict between Zecora and her friends, and I didn't even mention half the funny jokes that are in this story. I highly recommend this comic, and I look forward to where this story goes from here. Well, that's it for today, guys. Until next time, and see ya!